Sideline takes you inside a pre-game celebration.
Blazing hot, the Miami Heat stack another win to their streak.
And a walk-off Palooza. The Miami Marlins with an exciting start to their season. All of this and more on the Sideline. Hello, South Florida, and welcome to the Sideline, the place where you get all your highlights for your South Florida teams. I'm Valentina Gaspari.
I'm Nicolette Esper, and the Sideline starts now. Inter Miami is set to make their first appearance in the FIFA Club World Cup, and with all the star power on their roster, expectations are high.
That's right, but are fans confident in the team's chances? Sideline's reporter Laura Iglesias has more on what supporters are saying ahead of the tournament.
The FIFA Club World Cup is just around the corner. With the fans building up with excitement, we're here outside of the Chase Stadium because Inter Miami will be playing Philadelphia tonight for an MLS game. This June, the FIFA Club World Cup comes to Miami, kicking off at the Hard Rock Stadium. The tournament brings together the top club champions from around the world, including a team from the host country. They all compete for the title of the world's best. Inter Miami CF are one of the two clubs from Major League Soccer to take part.
Everyone here is having so much fun. I see everyone screaming. They brought instruments. Everyone's so happy and just applauding their team.
The excitement around Inter Miami is undeniable, with legends like Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez leading the way. Many have high hopes for the team's international debut, but not all fans are convinced that Miami is ready to take on their first appearance against the world's best.
I think Inter is going to go at least to the 8th, almost the 4th final. I think they'll pass the group stage, but it'll be complicated since there are so many good teams.
While some fans are dreaming big, others recognize the challenge ahead. Inter Miami's success in the tournament will depend not only on its star players, but also on the chemistry they can build leading up to June.
Honestly, no. They are a solid team, but you can compare them with teams like Atletico Madrid or Manchester City.
Now, the question that's left isn't if Inter Miami will be ready, but how far could they go competing against such high-level teams? The world is watching, and so are we. Reporting from Fort Lauderdale and for Caplin News, I'm Laura Iglesias.
Let's dive a little deeper into that game. Inter Miami entered Saturday's matchup against Philadelphia in good spirits. 3 wins, 1 loss, unbeaten to start 2025, and looking to keep the momentum going at Chase Stadium against the Union in a clash of the top 2 teams in the East. Fans didn't have to wait long to see the scoring get started. In the 23rd minute, it's Robert Taylor scoring Miami's first goal of the night, the first goal of his season, and the forward from Finland coming off a 5-goal campaign in 2024. Messi started the game on the bench, but delighted the home crowd when they saw him get up and sub in for Taylor in the second half. And assisted by Luis Suarez, Messi scored his second goal of the season only 2 minutes after his entrance. Miami held that 2-0 lead until the 80th minute when Philadelphia's Daniel Gazdag scored, but Miami's doing enough the rest of the way and did enough the rest of the way to take all 3 points. The final score was Inter Miami 2, Philadelphia Union 1.
Well, as we can see, Miami secured themselves multiple wins against Philadelphia this weekend. Over on the hardwood, the Miami Heat took down the Philadelphia 76ers and are now all of a sudden on a 4-game win streak. Although the Heat were missing key players Andrew Wiggins and Duncan Robinson, it did not slow them down. Tyler Hero put 30 points and Alec Burks contributing 30 as well. The Heat dominated the third quarter, outscoring Philadelphia 34-22 and taking complete command of the court. Final score was Miami 118, Philadelphia 76ers 95. The Heat will hopefully keep their streak going on Wednesday when they play against the reigning champs, the Boston Celtics.
The Panthers' 7-game home win streak comes to an end as Montreal edges Florida 4-2. Despite goals from Reinhardt and Seth Jones on a beautiful feed from Barkov in his 800th career game, the Cats couldn't overcome the Canadians. Zuski's third period goal broke the tie, and Florida drops to just 1 point behind Toronto in the Atlantic. They'll get a chance for revenge Tuesday in Montreal before a huge showdown with the Leafs on Wednesday. Can the Panthers regroup on this crucial road trip?
Well, Nicolette, your biggest L from last week has been proven wrong. The Miami Marlins deliver another walk-off thriller. Derek Hill scored the winning run on a wild pitch in the 9th inning, securing a 3-2 win, completing a series where all 3 wins came in a walk-off fashion. Griffin Conine crushed a solo shot to tie it, while Kyle Stowers made an outstanding catch to save the game in the 9th inning. Miami is the first team with 3 walk-off wins to start a season since 2003, which of course was their World Series season. Next up, a New York Mets take up trip down to Lone Depot Park.
Well, it's a good look from the Miami Marlins fans. However, Dolphins fans are in a frenzy after Tyreek Hill's teasing emoji responds to trade rumors. The star wide receiver liked a post asking if Miami should trade him, then dropped peace sign emojis on tweets calling him a top trade candidate. After a disappointing 8-9 season, Hill's social media activity has fans worried. Of course it does. We want to know, will the cheetah demand a move, or is this just off-season drama? One thing is for sure, Dolphins Nation is demanding answers.
All right, let's turn to our W's and L's of the week. Our start is off with our L. Novak Djokovic finishes runner-up at the Miami Open final. I cannot believe it. I thought he was going to win it. The game was delayed 5.5 hours because of the weather, and he suffered an eye infection. Take a look at this. It's a slippery court. He fell because of the wet floors. The last time Djokovic played in the Heat, in Miami was in 2019. And throughout the tournament, he showed the crowd he was back in full force, but it wasn't enough for a 25th ATP title. Novak Djokovic lost against Jakob Mensik, who, get this, he is 19 years old. Match ended in 2 tiebreakers, ended in 2 of them, which is crazy. They were a very close game between both players. But unfortunately, Djokovic briefly spoke about his eye post-game, saying he didn't feel his greatest on the court. He also called yesterday, the final, a weird day for him, which I can see why. He wasn't playing his best, and he played the last games with full force. I really thought he was going to win another title for the Miami Open, but unfortunately that was not the case. He did congratulate Mensik, saying, quote, "It hurts to admit it, but he was better."
I mean, as a 19-year-old, it's got to feel good for him to get
Definitely.
that. For sure. For my L of the week, massive NBA draw that leads to 7 ejections. This was the biggest loss of the week. It was the Pistons versus the Timberwolves. Last night's game erupted into pure chaos. 7 ejections, 12 technicals, and even a cameraman, you can see in the video, they get knocked over just trying to get this all on camera. It all started with a hard foul by Isaiah Stewart, you can see there, escalated when Naz Reid and Ron Holland put fingers in faces, and of course, you know, disrespect becomes something, and that's what it breaks into. It exploded into full bench clearing brawl that spilled into the stands. Coaches were screaming, players were shoved, and yes, that poor cameraman definitely took a spill. Even owner Alex Rodriguez got involved, helping a young fan who was caught in the middle. When the whistles finally stopped, Detroit lost their coach and 4 players. Minnesota lost 2 players and an assistant coach. The final score of that game was Wolves, who won 123-104. But the real story was the complete loss of control on the court.
Crazy. That looked like a WWE fight more than an NBA game.
It's insane.
That's crazy. But now let's turn to our W's. I'm so excited for my W because Argentina beat Brazil, and they're the first South American country to qualify for the 2026 World Cup. It was definitely a rivalry game between the 2 South American countries. Argentina humiliated Brazil 4-1 because of Julian Alvarez, Enzo Fernandez, Alexis McAllister, and Juliano Simeone. But Mateus Gunai's goal was not enough for Brazil to seize a win. Look at this. I feel like this was the highlight of the match overall. It was just a battle between the 2. And this picture, can we take a moment to look at this? Like, look at the team celebrating with the crowd, and then just that Brazilian guy just defeating the loss. But before the game began, Argentina, they were playing against, they knew they were playing against Brazil, but it was ultimately against Bolivia, Uruguay, because depending on that score, it would tell if Argentina would classify, and that did happen. Argentina classified even before they played Brazil, but that still did not stop the team from winning as much points. They won 31 points in the table overall, which that's a lot. 31 points. I mean, Ecuador, I think, ended with 23. They were like almost 10 points behind.
Crazy.
But Durival Jr.'s face, like we just saw a second ago, says it all. They were not happy. They were not proud of this outcome. And there were fireworks and there were cheers from the crowd in Argentina in the Mas Monumental. They were celebrating another win, not only in the qualifiers, but against their longtime opponents. As an Argentina fan, I'm so excited to see this team go up and at them every single time. So I'm excited for what this team has to bring for the World Cup.
Argentina, we said it last week. Argentina is there. They are excited. And congratulations to them. My W of the week, the New York Yankees. Ooh. They didn't just beat the Brewers. They launched a full-scale home run assault that made MLB history. And of course, for me as a New York fan, it's got to be the biggest win of the week. Historic highlights off the bat, an unreal start. 3 pitches, Valentina, which equaled 3 home runs.
Wow.
This is the Yankees became the first team to ever have homers on the first 3 pitches of a game. Insane. Record-breaking inning for the first inning. 4 home runs in just the first, which is a Yankees franchise first. There was and the MVP power, from Goldschmidt, Bellinger, and Judge, who made them the second team ever with 3 straight hits from former MVPs. Judge's dominance, we obviously saw. He had 3 home runs in just 1 game, tying A-Rod and DiMaggio in Yankees history. It was an unstoppable offense, 9 home runs, a total was a complete Yankees record and tied for second most in MLB history. 11 home runs in 2 games, the most by any team ever to start of a season. For that game, it was a 20-9 blowout, 9 home runs in this game, tying an MLB record, as we mentioned, and it was a statement to the league that the Yankees are here again for the long run, going again. They ended up sweeping the Brewers all weekend. Just so excited. It makes my heart so happy as a New York fan.
I can tell. You're so happy baseball is back.
But up next, we bring a special guest to talk hoops now, all around with the Miami Heat, FIU basketball, and of course, March Madness. We're going to take a timeout, but we'll see you right after the break.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
To get to know each other
on a deeper level.
Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Welcome back. There's a lot of news coming from the hoops world, both nationally and in our backyard. So for that, we bring in our studio analyst, Anthony Cruz, for our Hoops Roundup. Let's get started with these breaking news. Women's basketball star Maya Kone is officially a Miami Hurricane. And this comes at a time when her teammate Tanasia Haynes and Jaden Brewer from the men's hoops are also in the transfer portal. Tell me, what does the future look like for FIU hoops?
I mean, if that isn't the story of a mid-major program in the NIL era, then I don't know. FIU is the key example of that. Yeah, you're entering a rebuild on both sides. It's really sad to see Maya and Tanasia go, especially because we were so excited after their breakout seasons 2 years ago. For this season, both of them were injured. Maya Kone only played one game this year, and good luck to her. But yeah, we also, the women's team, for example, both of them are entering a rebuild. The women's team lost some key pieces to graduation. Izzy Nadaba, Lucia Fleta Robles, some really glue pieces that grew into really good players for them this year. But you do have some key pieces to build around. You have Paris Atkins, for example, who I'm really excited to see how her second year as a Panther goes. And for the men's team, the key storyline is Jeremy Ballard. Last year of his contract, he is confirmed coming back. Although he's had 5 straight losing seasons, you should remember, out of the 3 winning seasons FIU has had since 2000, he's had 2 of them. But yeah, last year of his deal, the storyline will be, can he get one more winning season? And he has some guys to do it. He has Ashton Williamson, who was a great find. Vianney Solochum coming out of community college and exploding to being their starting center. He was another amazing find for the team. So again, just as you go into this new era of FIU basketball, which I mean with last year Arturo Dean and Ajay Yoakum leaving, it felt like a new era as well. But as you go into that new era, just rebuilding around some of the good finds that you have gotten and building around those pieces.
Right. I mean, we've seen how trades and, transfer portals have done a well job. But we're moving on. Speaking of the trades, now moving on to the Heat, who are on a 4-game winning streak. After dropping 10 in a row, they're making up some ground here. Anthony, tell me, what led to this turnaround?
Nikki, the Heat have made a revolutionary discovery. To win games, you need to make shots. They have been extremely efficient these past 4 games. Just listen to these stats. 68% from 3 against the Warriors, 54% against the Hawks, 46 against Philly. And this coming from the Heat, who in this era, since 2020, have been a very streaky team, either at the top of the league, at the bottom of the league. They're in the smack dab in the middle right now. Listen to Tyler Hero, our lead guy, 36 points on 77% from the field against the Atlanta Hawks. And it's been shaky at times, but I love the two-headed monster of Bam and Kalo, where the Heat finally have size, which is something I've been yelling about on this desk for 2 years. So I'm really excited about Kaloware's development. Rookie of the year for sure. And yeah.
And with this boost, the Heat sit comfortably in the play-in. Let's remember that the Heat made the finals as a play-in team.
Right. Yeah.
So at this point, are there any discussions of draft positioning in probably in the rear view, right?
They are in the rear view, and as for the play-in run, I don't know if Lightning will strike twice. The Cleveland Cavaliers do look really good this season, and I think the Celtics are going to run through the conference still. But look, would it be smarter to get Cooper to potentially tank and potentially get Cooper Flagg, who's in March Madness in the Final Four right now next week, showing that he could do absolutely everything on both sides of the court? Probably, yeah. But we know the culture that Pat Riley has built. We know the culture that Eric Spoelstra has built. They are not tanking. They are not losing games on purpose. So we are guaranteed to be in the play-in spot. Let's see if we can surpass the Bulls, who have been on an insane run this last week. Half-court buzzer beater against the Lakers from Josh Giddey. But yeah, the Heat are a shoo-in for the play-in right now, yeah.
Well, for the draft, I mean, there's so many top prospects that everyone is looking at. But on that, first, before that, Anthony, who you got winning March Madness?
Hands down, the Duke Blue Devils. I mean, look, this is the first time since 2008 that we have all 4 1 seeds in the Final Four, so it is a stacked conference. And Walton Clayton Jr. can potentially steal it for Florida, in my opinion, but just the depth that Duke has, from Cooper Flagg to Concanupple to Tyrese Proctor. This is arguably one of the best Duke teams ever assembled, and that is quite a statement. So yeah, give me Duke, and they're playing Florida, which is going to be an all-time classic March Madness run for me, game for me. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for joining us. But it's time for our game picks of the week.
That's right. We got Rosaura Mendoza giving us her insight on what's to come.
Good morning, guys. I can't wait to share my game feed, so let's get into it. Tonight we have an exciting matchup between the Miami Heat and the Washington Wizards, a game that could get the Heat an inch closer to the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. Miami's defense has been stepping up, making big moves, while Washington has struggled to find consistency this season, especially with their shooting and turnovers. Looking at both teams, I gotta go with the Heat for this one. Alright, now that we've broken down the NBA action, let's switch gears and head to the ice. As far as the matchup between the Florida Panthers and the Montreal Canadiens, we have one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference and another team that is fighting for the chances in the playoffs. The Florida Panthers have been dominant this season, holding a strong record and performing exceptionally well at home. In contrast, the Canadiens are currently struggling, having lost 5 consecutive games and facing challenges both offensively and defensively. As far as my pick, I'm taking the Panthers. Alright, now let's head to the Diamond. The Miami Marlins are set to face off against the New York Mets in what promises to be an exciting early season series. The Mets, coming off a strong offseason, have upgraded their lineup, and with Kodai Senga pitching, they look solid to start this season. Meanwhile, the Marlins will rely on their ace, Sandy Alcantara, who's known for his dominance on the mound. So I'm going with the New York Mets to take the opener, especially with Senga's strong pitching debut. Well, that's a wrap on today's game pick. I'm Rosario Mendoza, and back to you guys in the studio.
And just a reminder that if you want to keep up with updates, fun segments, and more from our crew, you can follow our Instagram for all things Sideline. Follow us at sideline.caplin. And that's it for today. I'm Nicolette Esper.
And I'm Valentina Gaspari. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week on The Sideline.